The old bull falls with a sound like a collapsing mountain. It is a good death, a clean one, delivered by fire and the relentless points of view with spears. For a moment, the hunters stand in a panting, steaming circle around the carcass, their breath fogging in the crisp morning air. This is a victory. The kill is immense. A walking larder of fat and protein that will feed the clan for many days. But, as the lead hunter, the one they call Flint, looks back toward the smoke rising from the caves, he does not feel triumph. He feels a cold stone of dread settle in his gut. The hunt was too hard. They had to track this rock for 2 days, pushing them far beyond the valley's familiar embrace, into territory where the hyenas are bolder and the landscape is a stranger. There are too many mouths. This is the truth that lives in the silence between them, the shadow that falls even in the brightest noon sun. Their success has become a slow-acting poison. This corner of prehistory was once a paradise. Now it is a cage of their own making. Back at the settlement, the work begins. The women descend on the carcass with the practiced, brutal efficiency of generations. Their hands, stained and calloused, wield the sharp-edged flakes of their Moose-Terrian industry. Each tool is a testament to foresight. A stone core prepared with a dozen precise strikes to yield this one perfect, leaf-shaped blade. They work in concert, a fluid machine of muscle and knowledge, separating hide from flesh, meat from bone. The children watch from the periphery, their dull, intelligent eyes absorbing every motion, every lesson. This is how survival is passed down, not in words, but in the visceral theater of the butchering ground. A young boy, son of Flint, mimics the motion with a piece of wood, his face a mask of concentration. This is the bedrock of human evolution, the transfer of complex skill. But the harmony is cracking. An older woman, Calhoun, watches as a young mother shoves her own child forward to receive a prized piece of liver, nudging another's hungry boy aside. A low growl rumbles in Elm's chest. It is a small thing, a fleeting moment of selfishness. But it is happening more and more. The unspoken laws that bind them, the deep, instinctual calculus of kin selection that ensures the group's health over the individual's, are beginning to fray under the strain. There is simply not enough deer in the woods, not enough fish in the dwindling stream, not enough birds in the sky. The children are thinner than they should be. The old ones cough through the night. The stories of the great hunts, once told with pride, are now whispered with a desperate nostalgia for a time of plenty. A time before humans like them had filled every cave and claimed every resource. The valley, their entire world, is shrinking, and as it does, the space between them grows wider and colder. The council happens not with words, but with firelight and shared dread. Flint, Gelm, and the 3 other elders sit in the deepest part of the cave, the flickering flames making their heavy brows and deep-set eyes into canyons of shadow. The bones from the last rock are already picked clean, a stark white skeleton in the moonlight. Every strategy has failed. They have tried sending hunting parties further, but the men come back empty-handed and exhausted. They have tried digging for roots in the high country, but the ground is like stone. The logic of their world has become a tightening snare. There are too many heartbeats in the valley. The unspoken thought hangs in the air, thick and suffocating as smoke. Stone, the oldest of them, her face a roadmap of famine survived, performs a gesture of terrible finality. She holds up her gnarled hand, fingers splayed to represent the clan. Then, with the sharp edge of her other hand, she makes a cutting motion, splitting the family in two. One half stays, one half goes. A tremor runs through the small group. Flint feels a surge of violent refusal. They are a single body, woven together by 1,000,000 years of instinct and shared blood. You do not sever a limb to save the heart. It is madness, but he looks into Stone's eyes, and he sees no madness, only the unbearable weight of a truth he has been refusing to acknowledge. A slow, collective death is coming for them all. A divided clan, 2 smaller families, might have a chance. One group could give the valley time to heal. The The other would walk into the unknown, a living sacrifice for the whole. This is the emotional turning point, the moment when the instinct for communal survival overrides the love for the individual. This is a new, colder kind of thinking, born from the bitter soil of necessity. The choosing is the cruelest part. It is a silent, agonizing calculus, not the old, who would slow the journey, not the sick, not the youngest children. They select the strong, young families, driven hunters, skilled women, a seed of a new people, capable of enduring the coming winter. The decision is sealed with a ritual that feels more like a burial. Stone grinds a lump of ochre on a flat rock, mixing the red dust with animal fat until it is a thick, blood-like paste. This is not for a hunt, not for celebration. This is a marking. When they run, the chosen are called. A young hunter, Flint's own nephew, a mother who can find water where others see only dust, her child, who cries in confusion as Stone presses a red handprint onto his small tunic of hide. This act of symbolic behavior is a stark declaration, a line drawn through the heart of their community. They are no longer one people. They are us. And they. The fire crackles, the only sound in a cave that has suddenly become a tomb for a living family. This is the ultimate act of altruism, a community sacrificing a part of itself, not to a predator, but to a mathematical certainty of starvation. The heart is broken. Dawn is a wound in the eastern sky. There are no farewells, no final pleas. The two groups stand on opposite banks of the shallow river, the water a line of cold. Clear judgment between them. On one side is home, the smell of familiar smoke, the safety of the caves. The faces of kin now rendered as strangers. On the other side is everything else. The exiled, march with the red handprint of ochre, turn their backs. The act is heavier than lifting stone. Each footstep away from the valley is a severing, a small death. They walk east, into the rising sun that blinds them to the world they are leaving behind. They are 17 souls, a fragment of a people, now adrift in the vast, indifferent landscape of prehistoric life. The grief is a physical weight, a cold cloak that offers no warmth. For these human ancestors, the greatest predator is not the lion in the grasslands, but the memory of the heart they can never circle again. The first night is a lesson in terror. They find a shallow overhang of rock, a pathetic imitation of the deep, warm caves of their birth. The darkness here feels different, alive and predatory. When the first cackling whoop of a cave hyena echoes through the hills,
this raft is more
the children press against their mothers, their whimpers swallowed by the wind. This is the essence of life million years ago, a state of constant, vigilant fear. But they are not merely prey. Oak, Flint's nephew, now their reluctant leader, moves with quiet purpose. He brought with him not just spears, but knowledge. He pulls a carefully selected nodule of flint from his hydra, a little core, its surface already scarred with the precise geometry of preparation. With a quartzite hammerstone, he strikes the core. The crack is sharp, definitive, a perfect, razor-edged flake falls into his palm. This is the heart of their survival skills, the primitive technology that separates them from the beasts. He makes another, and another, passing the lethal flakes to the other hunters. They are not victims, they are a clan. An old woman, Dara, her face as cracked as a dry riverbed, had been among those cast out. They thought her a burden, but she carries a map in her mind. On the third day of their bleak journey, as despair begins to fester, she stops. She points a bony finger toward the horizon, at a unique V-shaped cleft in the distant blue hills. She speaks of a story her grandmother told her, of another valley, a place of red cliffs and a river that runs all year. It was a journey of many seasons, a legend, but now, it is the only thing they have. This is their paleocartography, and that woven from breath and memory, not drawn on skin. Suddenly, they are not just wandering. They have a destination. The knowledge gives them a new spine of resolve. Their journey is no longer an exile. It has become a pilgrimage. That evening, huddled around a tiny, precious fire. They look different. The haunted, betrayed look in their eyes has been replaced by a hard, frantic glint of determination. They have survived the breaking. Now, they must survive the world. Look closer at this moment, etched by hardship into the deep record of hominid history. What we are witnessing is not just a tragedy, but the birth of a fundamental human engine. Diaspora, the painful schism in this valley, a scene repeated in countless places and times, became an accidental strategy for expansion. This is how our kind conquered the world, not always with a grand vision of exploration, but often with the heartbroken, backward glance of the exiled. The children of those sent away carried the memory of loss, but also the resilient genes of survivors. They learned to adapt, to innovate, to map the world in their minds because they had no map on the ground. The success of ancient humans was paid for with the currency of broken families' unsevered kinship. Their sorrow was the fuel for our species' relentless spread across the planet. We are the descendants of those who stayed, but we are also, and perhaps more profoundly, the descendants of those who were forced to leave, carrying the embers of a hearth they would never see again. And so we must ask, is the urge to explore a horizon truly a call to the future? Or is it the ancient, weeping echo of a door closing forever behind us? I am the chronicler. I watch the long, slow fire of our becoming, and I remember the cost of the first sparks. Next, the ice speaks, and it demands a blood price.